Hi everyone, welcome to Things Lucy Reads. I'm Luce and this is a December TBR video. During the month of December, I'm going to be participating in Hex Libris's Unread Readathon, which is running on Instagram like the Middle Earth Readathon was. And I'm going to be using all of the Christmas books that have been on my TBR for years, and hopefully this year I'll be able to get through them. So the premise of this readathon is just to read books that have been on your TBR for ages, that you've been putting off for whatever reason, and that you really should finally get to. There's a few prompts. I'm going to be doing 9 of them, and the first book on the TBR for the prompts, a book by a POC author / a non-fiction book, is Zealot by Reza Aslan. Reza Aslan is an Iranian-American man that grew up Muslim and I think later converted to Christianity. This is a biography of Jesus, the historical figure. He did actually exist. It's debatable about whether he really was the Son of God, but he definitely existed in the real world at some point. And he was like a radical, authority protesting revolutionary. And this book is going to tell us about him. So it's been on my TBR for 2 years and I'm really excited to finally get to it because I just want to know more about this guy. The next book on my TBR is the Pride book, and it is All I Want for Christmas by Claire Lydon. This is the second Christmas book of hers that I've read. I read one last year called It Had to Be You, and that one was just extremely weird. You had a main character who had an older girlfriend and they go home for Christmas and you find out that the older girlfriend used to be the mum's girlfriend, and then the older girlfriend and the mum end up together and no one seems to think it's weird that the older girlfriend has had sex with this woman and her daughter. It was just bizarre and I didn't really like it, but I'm going to give her another shot, and this one will be the make or break book because I also tried to read that princess one, whatever the princess one she wrote with Harper Bliss was, and I got most of the way through that and then it did something I hate and I was like, nope, tapping out. But yeah, so we will see if she's actually an author I want to continue reading or not. The next book is Oldest Unread Book, and for me that's The Nutcracker by E.T.A. Hoffman. I did read this last year as an audiobook, but I've never read it in physical, and I actually don't really remember what happened apart from just general knowledge of the plot of The Nutcracker. So I'm going to read it again. My newest unread book is The Wicked and the Divine Christmas Annual by Kieran Gillen and Jamie McKelvey. This is a single issue comic that stands outside of the main series. My Why Haven't I Read You book is A Touch of Mistletoe, edited by Megan Durr, which is a collection of 5, I don't know if it's specifically or if it's just queer in general, holiday romance stories. And I've had this for quite a number of years as well and I just haven't picked it up, but this year is going to be the year. My book for Finish a Series You've Started is Homes for the Holidays, edited by Martin Greenberg. I read More Homes for the Holidays quite a few years ago and really enjoyed it. It's just a collection of Sherlock Holmes pastiche stories set around Christmas. I'm actually really sad about this one because More Homes for the Holidays is red and green and this one is just blue. Like, they couldn't make this one red and green as well. It would have matched. It would have been really cute. Anyway, yeah, there's only these 2 books in this series, so if I read this one, I'll be done. The next book is Book by an Author You Love, and I actually have 2 options for this. I've got an ebook short called Christmas Adventure, which is a Hercule Poirot short story by Agatha Christie, which I'm definitely going to read because it's like 27 pages. It's not the one that's officially on this TBR. That one is The Adventure of the Christmas Pudding by Agatha Christie, also a Poirot novel. I'm going to try and read both, and if I do, then this will be the one that I'm counting for the readathon. If I don't read this one, then I'll just count the little one for the readathon. Either one will do. And then the last prompt that I'm doing is a classic you keep putting off, and for that I have Murder Under the Christmas Tree, which is edited by Cecily Gayford, which is a collection of Christmas themed stories by well-known crime writers. So I think there's an Agatha Christie one in there. It's G.K. Chesterton and Father Brown, that kind of thing, and I've had it for a lot of years. And I actually have the companion one, which is called Murder on Christmas Eve. For some reason, Goodreads thinks they're the same book, but they're not. It's kind of weird. Anyway, I'm going to try and get through that one this year, and then next year I can read the companion one. So that is my Christmas TBR. I have a few other books that I'm going to attempt to get to from my holiday TBR in general. One of the books that I'm hoping to get to that isn't part of a readathon TBR is The 12 Doctors of Christmas. I have kind of lapsed at being a Doctor Who fan. I don't like Eleven and I don't like Amy. I like Rory and I love River, but after slogging through 2 seasons of that, I was just like, no, you know what? I don't need to watch this anymore. And I always intended to watch Peter Capaldi's seasons, but I haven't got around to it yet. I will one day, but I have been watching the new Doctor Who with the 13th Doctor, and I love her with all my heart. And it just feels so good for Doctor Who to be welcoming and accessible and enjoyable again. So I thought it was finally time to pick this up. Even though the 13th Doctor is not in here, I'm feeling more warmly towards the series as a whole, and we're going to give this a shot. Since it's a 12 days of Christmas thing, I'm going to read 1 story a day for each of the 12 days. From the 25th of December to the 6th of January, I'm going to read 1 of these stories and get through it that way. I did the same thing last year with Christmas Days by Jeanette Winterson, and it was just a really chill way to get through another book at the end of the month, and to wind down from all of the wildness that is Christmas and New Year. So there's that one. And then I just have another couple of queer holiday themed romances that I'll either get to or I won't get to, and it doesn't matter, I can always read them next year. So let me know what you're reading this month or planning to read this month. If you're joining in any readathons, feel free to link me to your TBR, I'd love to watch. Yeah, just feel free to come and chat to me about anything. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye everyone.